Okay, so apparently I had my audio muted, and I was just recapping our last mission where we expanded the space station, but I failed to count correctly, so we didn't complete the contract. So today we'll be finishing that, and then we'll be trying to prepare a mission to Duna, if at all possible. We're not quite at an optimal um, position for that, but we're getting there pretty quickly. I think we can definitely do it. In the meantime, we have a few contracts, one of which I can complete right now, which is to get science from the orbit of the moon. And the head lice relays that we put up last time have the equipment on board to complete those kinds of contracts. So we'll go ahead and do that. And there we go. We just got paid. Not a lot, but it's something. So these are the head lice satellites that we made. Mm-hmm. Great name. I'm glad we went with that name. Okay, first thing, let's finish the contract for the space station. Also, I have just enough science to research one more thing here, and I'm thinking I'm going to go with the supersonic flight because I do enjoy the Mark II um, parts. So yeah, we'll go ahead and go with that, and we'll use those right away to complete this contract. Uh, I'm thinking about building a space shuttle type mission to do this. Yeah. Well, yeah, we do need a single Kerbal Pod expansion, which we will do, but I'm not sure we're going to call it that. We might call it something different than that. Maybe. Anyway, I'm looking for that. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Nope. Need monoprop. Oh, yeah. Monoprop, struts, and something else. Yeah, I don't remember. Monoprop, struts. I don't recall. I don't recall. Yeah, bear with me. I've never actually put together a shuttle style mission, so I wanted to play around with this a little bit, and you guys get to suffer through with me. So let's have fun with that. Now, how big should I make this? I probably want to put. Yeah, that's probably fine for that. It's not going to be an exact shuttle replica. It'll be my take on it. You have to excuse me. I work in a pretty dusty environment, so sometimes I get a little bit of a cough. It's not. I'm not ill or anything, so. Don't worry about that. Okay. Now, the twin bore is more efficient and more powerful than the mainsail. So we're going to go with the twin bore. And let's see. Okay. Anything useful, just research stuff that I thought was cool. I'm very glad I did that. I had access to a better reaction wheel, but instead I chose to go with these Mark II parts. Yes. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, rocket fuel, that's what we want. I don't really want to attach it like that, though. Before launch, take all science readings to yeah, that would be a good idea. I could pack some science gear on here and definitely do that. I'm going to cheat a little. I'm going to stick that on there so that I can just tuck these parts around it. And that doesn't really work either. Well, that's awesome. I'm thrilled. I guess I can just place it and then move it. Which is the top and which is the bottom? Does it matter? I don't think it matters. However, being relatively well centered does. There. Look, it's almost like it was supposed to be there. Look, it's almost like nothing's going to line up with it now. Okay. Put on one more. And then we'll throw on some engines. And we'll put on a fuel hose, which should actually be attached. It will go there. I think that makes a better top than that does. What do you think? Should the black lines be on the top or the bottom? I think it's the bottom. No clue. I don't think it really matters. I think it's all whatever we prefer. Oh, I already put that on there. Now, what do we have for reasonable space vacuum engines? Probably just go with the old Terriers for this. Yeah. And then I want some monoprop, which I don't have access to just yet. So for these Mark II fuselages, I don't have monoprop, which is not a big deal. But I do want the cargo bay, and I'm going to put a double cargo bay, and then we'll put the, okay. I don't think it matters what way those are. We'll just leave it the way it is. Now, does that fit in there or does it clip through? It clips through. Okay, I was going to use that because then it would be identical to the other one, but it doesn't fit in this cargo bay, so we won't use that. We'll just put a single pod up there. If I can get it to connect correctly here, which I can't. Now I can. Okay. And we'll just stick Mark 1 command pod on there. Yeah, that'll fit. And all it needs is to be able to... Where did that go? Oh, there it is. Really? So all this needs is to be able to deorbit. That's it. Nothing more. So it doesn't take much. And I don't think I have... Yeah, that'll do. And it has onboard SAS, so I don't need to put in a reaction wheel or anything. It's going to be so lightweight. And just for the sake of space, I think I'll leave that off and just put it like so. Yes. And I'll put just a tiny little bit of monoprop on here because it's going to have to move from this docking bay to the station under its own power. So just a little bit of monoprop, not a lot. And it can have these very small RCS blocks here. And then, well, I probably do want to put a decoupler in the heat shield, just in case. So there's the heat shield. There's the decoupler. There's the fuel. And I think that's going to be more than enough fuel for a deorbit. Probably want to put parachutes on here. There. We have a functional escape. I can get wild and put a battery on there. It's crazy, I know, but I could do it. Could put a battery on that side, and we could do. Look at this. We could do solar panels like that. I'm out of control. And we'll put an antenna on, just because. There. So it's got more stuff than it needs, but that's all right. Now let's see if we can put that back on. Yep. And let's get some science in here. Okay, this is always kind of tricky. I'm gonna have to place it and move it. Well, and that's not what I wanted to do. I thought, oh, I clicked the place tool again. Okay, I find it interesting that it's rotating it around an axis that's on the edge of the body instead of in the center of it. There we... No, not quite. There we go. And do I have room for a reaction wheel? No. No, I do not. It needs to be just a... You know what? We'll make this smaller. That's what we will do. So we'll ditch that. Is there a smaller fuel? There is a smaller fuel tank, yes. The Oscar B fuel tank. Right there. Grab the little decoupler. And that's kind of buried in the heat shield, but I think that's okay. Then we'll put the spark back on. And then give it a couple of little bag fuel tanks. If I can get it to work. There, look at that. It's very ugly now, and I just took off the RCS. I don't even know if we need those. This is 22. That might be enough, and if not, I bet you the leftover RCS is for a proper deorbit. But now we'll stick these on here. And on here. Yep. Just like that. And now we just got rid of all of our solar panels and batteries and stuff, but honestly, we didn't really need it. Maybe we'll keep some batteries just because they can help the space station while it's docked. But other than that, that's done. And let's go back to building out the shuttle. So I definitely want reaction control. So I want the SAS, the reaction wheels here. And I wanted to duplicate that. Well, that didn't quite work right, did it? All right. There we go. And then let's throw on some more science. We want all of the science. What am I looking at? I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay. And a barometer. And a thermometer. There we go. And I'm going to put on just a little ladder here, which will extend across the base so our scientists can just grab onto that and crawl out there. Okay, so that's all the science, right? Right. And let's put an antenna on here. Okay. And put some batteries in here. like so. And what else? We should probably put some... Yeah, we should probably put some wings or something on there. This thing is probably going to flip out and kill everybody. Yeah, I have my concerns about this thing now. Because I'm building it... You know what? Let me try the subassembly feature again. I'm worried that it's going to be unstable when it comes back into the atmosphere. Well, that's not what I wanted to see. This is what I want here. Huh. Well, why won't it let me? Probably because it's got that... Probably because it's got that whole ship up above the roof here. There. No. What's my route? That's the route? Well, we'll leave that as the route. Just in case. Just in case that's not on there correctly. There. Just in case having that part as the root is what allows us to grab it and reconnect it in the other editor. So what I want to see here is center of mass and aerodynamic center, which is there, center of lift. And then we want to throw on some wings. And I don't have a lot unlocked for wings here. Okay. Now bear with me. I don't do a lot of work in this editor, so this is kind of new for me. And I'm just kind of feeling it out here. But I think something kind of like that. Now, that's going to go down, which is honestly okay. But that might be a little heavy on the nose down. I really haven't unlocked much in the airplane hangar here. But we'll do what we can. Okay. The symmetry's acting all funny here. Yeah. See, it's wanting to... It's because I pulled it in from the other editor, I think. We'll do something like that. Ah, goodness, this is going to be a challenge. Okay, we'll put it there. We'll move this one. To there. Okay, and that puts our center of lift way back there. Well, I could put some... yeah, I could do that, but it's still pretty far back. Now, as it burns fuel, it's actually going to become more nose heavy. So that's not great. What can I do? Can I bury more fuel tanks in to bring that weight further back? Yes. Yes, I can. Okay. That more fuel is fine too. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm okay with this. Because now they're pretty much dead on even. Start to be slightly more nose heavy. Okay. That's fine. Now we're going to want some landing gear. And it will start retracted. And actually, I kind of like that because it gives me a spot here to put on a couple more landing gear with a slightly broader base. So it should be a little more stable when it lands. Okay. Do they need to be that far back? No. Put them up there. I'm gonna grab the wrong thing again and wreck my whole ship. Yeah, that'll work. And of course this won't be on there. Well, that should do. You know, I could... yeah, I could swap these out for just liquid fuel and put some jets on. But it's really not necessary. We'll probably take a glide profile for the return. Okay, so what else do I need on here? Monoprop. Right? We can stick that in there on the end of those pods. Yeah. We didn't need much, did we? Just 240 should be plenty, right? No clue. Is there anything else we need on here? Should I put a docking port on here? I'm not really planning to dock this to the station. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt, and it would add a little bit of weight to the rear. Yeah. Struts? Oh yeah, storage. So we can add some struts and stuff. And just put it on as a pod there, I guess. Is that going to be enough? I was just going to use that for what? To tighten up the connections where the modules are docked to each other, right? That should be... we'll probably want more than that then. And I just saw that this is poking through, which is no good. Oh, we'll just have to go with being off center. It's fine. Stop the wobbles on the station right. I'm just trying to decide what's the best way. Maybe put on several of these. It really doesn't want to cooperate well. Okay. And we'll just fill those up with struts. So many struts. And there is an engineer already on the station. So we don't need to worry about sending a new engineer. We've got... Oh, I should probably put some solar panels on this. I'll probably want to put retractable solar panels on. And I'm probably going to be pretty upset when I spend all of this time. Urinal cakes? That's very important, yeah. That's standard compliment, though, for a resupply mission, isn't it? Hmm. Like I was saying, though, I'll probably be pretty upset when I spend all of this time making this thing and then destroy it in the atmosphere trying to return it. Smash it into the space station and watch it burn. I hope not. But it's very, very possible that may happen. Just prepare yourself for the possibility that might be a thing that does in fact happen. It's not the prettiest, but it'll get the job done. Yeah. If I could place it correctly. Oh yeah, those are not duplicated. I have to do each one. There. Besides, these guys are probably more interested in snack cakes than urinal cakes. Uh-oh. I know what I'm missing. I know what I'm missing. Lights. Lights make it go faster, you know. Well, that should be pretty good. All right, let's take it back to the other editor and see if we can rebuild. Oh, yeah, that's not the route. And see if we can rebuild the launch truck for this. Now, this thing is going to fly really, really strangely because it's going to have all of this weight and drag on one side. Well, it looks like I'm going to have a hard time attaching this. I'm going to test something here. I just want to see if that actually separates correctly or not. If it separates correctly, then I'll manually place it better. Well, now that's not going to tell me. I guess it did separate. Here, I'll just throw on a launch stabilizer so I can see this. Separated all right. Not quite what I had in mind. Okay. I was afraid of that. It did not let go. So that won't work. And that is the root part there. Okay, if I save this as the subassembly again, maybe I can just attach it that way. So I'll try that. I'll grab the tank, put the tank out. That can't be my... Oh, it's already down there. And go into the subassembly, grab this. Is that... Did that do it? I think that did it. I think that solved our problem. Let's find out. I'm pretty sure it did. Really? You mean it has no... There's a pod right there. What are you talking about? And for some reason, it's not going to let me launch this. Okay. Is there no Kerbal on there and see if that fixes it? Yep. All right, that works. That works. Oh no, I want to revert. I don't want to. I don't want to count that. Okay. Let me building this then. I don't think it needs to be that big. I think that's plenty right there. To finish circularization, that should do just fine. Recover vessel. Yeah. Yeah, I almost did. That would have been less than optimal. I don't know. My little guys are upset tonight, and I'm not sure why. Okay, and the twin bore. And there we go. See, this thing is going to want to flip out so bad. I may... Yeah, I'm going to put a whole bunch of fins around the bottom of this one. Try to counteract that. I don't see this ending well here. Yeah, right? Which I could have had up in 5 minutes. But if I can get this to work correctly, then we'll have this ship in our inventory and we can use it for other things. So that would be nice. Yep. Yeah, all of this for one Kerbal pod, and some monoprop and struts. Yeah, I definitely could have gone with a much simpler design. And I got a sinking suspicion I'm going to end up doing that in the end anyway here. But I want to try something new and different, and this is that. Will I regret wasting all of this time? I'm sure. Are we having fun watching me do this anyway? I doubt it. But if it works, I got a feeling like this is going to be a problem. The fact that that's just off to the side there like that. I need to counter that somehow. I think I have an idea for how to do that. I'm going to take that and put it there. And then I'm going to take this and put it there. And that just got way more ridiculous. I probably don't need to do half of this. And since I'm doing that, I can probably get rid of one of those. Yeah. There. I like it. I like it. Also, if I do this, then I can have all engines firing the whole time, which will help to offset the drag. Yeah. Of course, is that going to then cause it to flip the other way? Yeah, probably. I don't know. Is this all going to fail miserably? Nah. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's done it. Now I just need to get all of the engines into the first stage because everything's going to fire. Wait, not that one. That one's up here in a cargo bay, isn't it? No, not that one. But everything else can. Mm-hmm. And then these. Nope, these will go first, then that, then that. Yes. Okay. And let's have Valentina do it. Yeah. Let's name this. The shuttle won't work. Let's call it the what do we have? We've got the ladybug, and we've got. Do we have a grasshopper? We had a grasshopper already, right? We have a cricket. Did we have a cricket? I don't remember. Junebug. We had a Junebug. No. No, stop suggesting that. Let's go. We'll call this the moth. Yeah. I guess that's it. I'm kind of nervous about this, but let's give it a try. I'm afraid it's going to tip over on the launch pad. don't think I want it quite that high either, do I? Though I suppose if you make it really tall with those launch clamps, you're technically saving delta V because you are closer to space. I guess. Okay. We've got, yeah, I think we've got everything on here except radiators. Do we, yeah, I could chuck in a couple of radiators. So that is actually working correctly. Okay. There we go. Okay, wish me luck. All right. Doesn't look too bad. Here we go. Turn on the lights. Hey, look at that. Turn off the lights. Ah, that's what I was afraid of. Oh, I see the problem. Why is that happening? She's in the wrong pod. That's why that was happening. Okay, I know she's in the wrong pod. I'll move her. There. Is she? So she was in the wrong pod. She was in the one facing the ground, so the ship was automatically trying to flip around, so she was facing up. That's not good. You might say that's bad. All right, let's give this another shot. And it still wants to ride. Yeah, it's still flipping out. No. No, that's still no good. Yeah, I was afraid of that. It's still flipping out like crazy. It had a third massive rocket. Yeah, could. Certainly could. Where are my couplers there? I guess that's what we're gonna do. The other thing we could do is angle those to offset that, but those engines there, the Terrier, are those the Terrier? Yeah, Terrier. This thing is getting stupid. But that's okay. Let's see. They were thrusting. It's just these engines are so weak compared to the twin bores that it didn't help. I did have them thrusting. There was max thrusting happening at that time. Okay. I don't think I don't want those feeding in there. I want them feeding into the ship, yeah, here. Yeah. Okay, that might have done it. And now that we've got that, we don't need these anymore. So if I'm correct, these three should all run out of fuel at the same time. You know, I just got the most ridiculous idea here. There. If that doesn't counteract it, nothing will. Oh, why'd you do that? You stuck them on upside down. There. It's still cheap, right? Cheaper than some of the missions we've done. How's that look? Is that going to do it? Oh yeah, the fuel. Okay. Hey, if it gets the job done, I don't care. We can be ugly. Most of the stuff I build is ugly anyway. Oh, I didn't make sure those engines were set to all fire at the same time. Oh, but it looks like they are. Okay. Here we go. Really? And it's still going to do that. Oh, 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 oh. You know what? Uh, let's put on some struts. Let's try that. Let's just pretend that one didn't happen. This is taking a long time. If this doesn't work, I'll just make a very simple rocket to accomplish the exact same thing. Well, you know what? That actually, I can work with this. If I just turn the rocket around the other way, then it'll do its gravity turn for us. Oh, but don't do that. Is that the root? That is the root part now. Okay. There. Check it out. I just fixed the problem. I'm sure of it. So I'm a big fan of SpaceX, and so I usually make rockets more in line with the Dragon type. This is new for me, and I'm kind of enjoying this, but failing at it. This is very not shuttle esque anymore. Yeah, this is not working out. We're going in completely the wrong direction. Well, I'm starting to pull out of it here. Uh, it's getting there. Oh, now I'm flipping out. Now I'm flipping out. Oh, and it's getting worse. Yeah, and it's much worse now. Yep, that's very bad. Here, I'll turn the lights on. That'll help. Okay, I'll do something different with the. I think I can still salvage this vehicle, but the problem here is this external tank. That is the problem. So I need to make a new route, which is now that. And then I need to get rid of this. And what I'll do is take this. I'll put one on either side like so. And then I'll just put my rockets there. Yeah. Wasted over an hour to do this. Well, wasted, spent. Spent over an hour to do this. I don't have anything to say for myself. This was a mistake. Yep, that's done it. I'll turn the lights on. Lights make you go faster. I'm drifting just slightly. Oh, guess what? I should probably put those fins on. How'd you let me forget the fins? This is definitely not the best progress I've ever made in a night. My apologies. We'll try to make the next one way more interesting than this. I don't know. Yeah, version 14.12 on this ship already. Maybe we'll make a moon train or something. Do a little convoy. Get that station built on Minmus. Really, as long as we are pointed straight up and down with this thing, we shouldn't have any flip out. But having all these control surfaces that far forward on the rocket is going to make it highly unstable if we deviate from that. But we have so much delta V here. I think we can burn straight up, get up into the thin atmosphere, and then just flip and kind of skip the gravity turn. It's not anywhere near as efficient, but at this point I just want to get this done. I'll turn the lights on. We'll go up to maybe about 25 or 30,000 before I do the turn, which is significantly higher than I normally do, but it'll make the control surfaces a lot less. I think we should be all right. Now, let's go ahead and start turning. I want to turn kind of aggressively here now. Counteract that vertical motion and turn it into a lateral motion. I want to ride at about 80,000. So I really want to flatten this out. Really working hard to flatten that curve. Okay, and now we'll come out of that. And let's try to circularize. Okay. And we'll ditch those. And now we're just in the shuttle. Now this thing has a good bit of delta V, but it has a very poor thrust to weight ratio. If you hear that in the background, I don't know if you can or not. My dog is snoring. Let's get these radiators out. And set that as our target. You know, we're behind it, but we're in a much lower orbit, so we should be able to catch it. We're getting there. So far, this design is viable, but I don't think it's practical, and I'm not convinced that we're going to survive re-entry in it. Valentina, yeah, if anyone can pull it off, it'll be Valentina. But it might also be the last time we ever see Valentina. All right, we'll just coast ahead a little bit here. I'm actually going to bring my apoapsis down to put us in a more circular orbit to make it a little easier to catch and intercept the station to rendezvous. I think that'll work. Let's get a maneuver node out here, a planner. And yeah, we can catch it in less than one orbit. Hey, we lost it. Oh, I see. I went ahead of my ship there in the planning node and cost myself an orbit. Now my inclination is off just slightly. .8 kilometers is not bad, but I think we can do a little better. 3.3, 1.7. Getting there. Oh, I grabbed the wrong thing. Ah, jeez. Ah, great. Now I messed up my node. Okay. 1.6. Or it could just do that. 5.5. It's gotten worse. 1.3. It's not too bad. 2.1. 1.5. I'll go with 1.5. We'll have to do another burn after, but this will get us in the ballpark. You know what? I put on these fins, right? And I put on these solar panels, right? And the solar panels will smash into those fins if I open them. Let's try to maybe I can have Amol fix that when we get to the station. Because at this point, I don't think I should open those. Yeah, Amol. And then fix that in the builder at some point, if I remember. I might not ever fly this again. Definitely a more traditional style rocket is vastly more efficient than this. Cheaper, faster, easier to fly. There's really no upside to doing this other than it's cooler. Now, if it was an SSTO, that would be a different story, but it's not. All right. Just coast until we're at this closest intersect. Reduce our speed to relative 0. That is a speed of 0 to our target, which is the space station. And then we'll just burn towards the station. I probably should have started burning just a little bit earlier. I think it'll be all right, though. Yeah, these Terrier engines are not very good, are they? They're fairly weak. Certainly did. I put on all the equipment to get the science and then never collected the science. I got so caught up in trying to make this thing work that I forgot to use it. Well, that's awesome. At this point, I'm not reverting. I just want to get this this contract complete and move on. Here, I'll quick save. Look, I remembered on my own. I'm retracting these just so I don't have to worry about it when we get closer, because we're going to be trying to dock. And we may not be doing the Duna stuff tonight. We'll see. I could have and probably should have just gone with the traditional style rocket and just gotten this done with. Would have been done with this probably an hour and 20 minutes ago. Yeah, forgive me. Trying new things. What's our closest point here? 0.2. Bring this to a stop here. I mean, it's really only a stop relative to the space station. It's not actually stopping. And we'll transfer Valentina over to the pod. Move the pod over. And then we'll send her back to dock the shuttle. All right, she's in the pod. Decouple that. Oh, I see. There we go. I was not in control of the pod. I was still in control of the shuttle. All right. And we'll want to control from here. And we'll want to... We're going to put that where? Right here, I guess. Oh, we could put it over here. And I don't think I'm going to try to move the whole station around. We'll just move this over there. Set that as our target. Okay. And we're almost out of electric charge already. Well, that's not great. No, that's not good at all. We have plenty of monopropellant, though. Oof. Oh, I'm bringing the whole ship over. I'm going to dock that ship onto this other docking port that's right here. So I'll grab those after I bring it over. I'm probably just going to park all of this up here and then go and design the Duna probe. I don't think I'm going to do all the station keeping work tonight. This took far too long. Far too long. Now I'm just orienting the ship in such a way that my controls are intuitive for me to use. I'm going to see if I can avoid smashing everything here. I don't know how exciting this is to watch. I apologize if this is very boring. I don't really know what else to say about it either. Just dock into the station again. Once this is docked, though, that contract will be complete. Oh, welcome. I see we've got a few more people in here. We're just finishing a contract to expand the space station. It was supposed to be done a long time ago, but I apparently could only count to 25 instead of 26. So we did this entire ridiculous, convoluted mission to get this pod up here. But in just a second here, we will be done. Finally, with that contract. There it is. Now give it just a second. We're not, it didn't give it to us. Why? There. Okay, it did. It just took a second. Yay, it's done. No, the contract did not expire. Okay, and now we'll send Valentina to grab the. We'll send her back over. I'd be pretty upset if it did. It might have, how long it took to design this stupid thing. All right, Val. Go get your shuttle. Now, like I said, we'll just dock this on here. I don't think I'm going to move all the parts over, and I don't think. Yeah, I'll save that for another time. We'll add all the struts and everything to the station. I'm tired of dealing with the station for now, and I want to get onto something different. So let's get this parked, and then we'll go design our probe ship for Duna, and we'll probably launch that and put it in transit tonight. But I don't think we'll get it all the way there tonight. We'll finish that up next time. Overshoot? No. Well, my desire to use the shuttle has been fulfilled. I don't care if I ever do this again. Traditional rocket launches are just fine by me. And where did the station go? It's over there. I'll switch the station and I'll tell it to control from here because then that'll set that as my target automatically when I target the station. Yep, see, it already changed it. All right. And we're in transit. It's pretty close to pointed at us correctly, so we shouldn't have to do much translating to get there. And I want it positioned like this, I think. Yeah, that'll do. I'm sorry, my commentary is not very interesting right now. I'm just trying not to crash. I think that'll do it. Yeah. That'll do it. A little rocky, but nothing got broken. Uh, uh. Oh, that was close. I thought that was going. You know, if I'd been smart, I probably would have retracted all of those panels. Maybe I still should. Oh no, it docked. It's on. So there we go. We've got our multiple escape pods. I definitely, you know, this one might actually be more efficient than this one. But this one is for 2, and this one's only for 1. We got the ship docked now, the shuttle. Will it survive re-entry? We won't find out today. This one certainly will. This one, I don't know. I hope so. Well, there we go. The Ripley hub. Growing more and more. It's crooked, but we'll just live with it. All right. Let's get that Duna probe going. That's what I actually wanted to do today. I thought for sure that mission that we just finished was going to take 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Hour and 40 minutes later, we're finally done. Yeah, I was trying a new design, something that I don't normally do. Yeah, ugly. All right, let's go with a new one. And this one, I want it to be uncrewed. It's just going to be a remote. Probe ship. So let's start with our core. We'll just go with the Probodobodyne. And stick that inside of a service bay. If you've watched me play before, you've seen this a bunch. This is probably no longer interesting. But this is necessary. And now this one, I want a lot of electric storage on board. A lot. There. And let's see. I want a fairing up front. Like so. And we'll kind of use the same sort of setup that we used for the satellites yesterday. The headlights setup. Except this time, I'm not gonna leave a ring of them anywhere. I'll have. Let's see. Duna has what, 1 moon? So I want at least 1 satellite and 1 lander for the moon, and then at least 1 satellite and 1 lander for Duna. So really, we only need 4, which we can stick right there. So let's design the satellites first. And these can be very basic, very simple. Just give them some fuel. Give them some reaction wheels. Give them the ability to control themselves. Give them the ability to communicate. Give them some solar panels. And some engines. And that really, right there, that's a satellite. But I will throw a little bit of science on there too, because you get contracts for that. There we go. So there's our satellites. And then we want landers, which will be pretty similar to the satellites, but with legs. And I also want the ejection force here to be 0. I just want them to separate. I don't want them to shoot off. There. Okay. You know, why am I doing it like this? I could literally just grab this whole thing, bring it over, and then modify it to be a lander. And there will be some slight difference between the one is what is the name of Duna's moon? I don't remember. I'm not sure it matters. But the difference here is Duna actually has some atmosphere. So we can use... No, that's not the name of Duna's moon. So we can use parachutes. To land on Duna. But we don't need parachutes to land on the moon. So this is Duna's lander. Okay. Why is that still extended? So there we go. And now let's bring this fairing out. And that's it. I can't interact with the probe core. There we go. Okay. And for this stage, we just need... Now, this needs to be capable of capturing into a Duna orbit and then adjusting enough to interact with the moon. But it doesn't probably need too much because these do have fuel on them as well. They can move themselves if they need to. So I think we'll just go with this basic upper stage like that. And this needs to be able to communicate with Kerbin. So I'm going to stick a lot. They're stacking, and I don't know. They're combinable. I'm just going to do that. I don't know if that many will stack together, but I'm doing it. That's happening. And then put a bunch of solar panels on here. And some retractables as well. Because they can orient themselves a little better. Heat shields, no. Radiator, yes. There we go. And that's our mothership right there. So the idea here is that these probably aren't strong enough to communicate with Kerbin, but this one might be. So this will remain in orbit, a high orbit above both bodies, and act as a relay for all of the satellites. That's my idea anyway. Is that how it's going to work? I don't know. But that's what I have in mind for it. And then I just need a launch vehicle capable of getting it into orbit around Kerbin, really. Which is pretty standard. Something we've done a few times here. Yeah, that's probably about it. I'll throw some SRBs on there. Because I want to. I enjoy it. And the extra Delta V won't hurt us at all. Look at that. That thing's huge. I don't think we need that. All right. Those will go at the same time. And then those what is that now? That's got to be one of the satellites, yeah. Yeah, all of those we're gonna fire manually, so they don't need really to be part of an action group. It doesn't matter if they are or not, as long as the action group that they are in is high enough that it's not going to be triggered. Okay, that looks perfectly fine to me. Let's do it. Now, here's the question that I have. Do you guys want to see this go to Duna today, or do you want me to launch it, get it there, and then complete other missions in between as it goes? Because it makes no difference to me. Do you want to see Duna today or not? That's the question. What? And then that engine did not fire? Okay, what's going on here? Never seen Duna? Okay, well, the only thing that's going to happen is we'll just time warp out to Duna, so the guys on the space station are going to be sitting there for a long time. But what effect does that actually have on the game? None. Okay, so what did I actually do here? So those were burning. I don't want those to burn. And then this was not burning. I do want that to burn. Okay. Well, they're going to be working some science, and honestly, there's enough Delta V storage in the shuttle that the shuttle could probably head out to Minmus the moon and then come back. But the thrust to weight ratio on that shuttle just is bad, so it's not very fun to fly. Yeah, that's a lot snappier. Funny when your engines fire in the correct order. I'm seriously thinking about just throwing a probe core onto that shuttle and sending it back like that, just in case it doesn't work. I won't be killing anybody. I think that three Kerbal pod on the station has a control probe on it, so maybe I'll just take that one, jam that into the shuttle, and send it back like that. Now, we're not at an optimal Duna transfer window, but I think we're close enough that I can make it work. This should have enough Delta V in it to get that done. Yeah, even with the small amount of data that they have, data was a character from Star Trek, right? And data is what you call the information. So even with the small amount of data they have on the space station, with the amount of time it's going to take to watch this fly out to Duna, they should have plenty of science stored up for us by the time we get back to it. And besides, maybe by the time we get back, the families of the scientists on board the space station will be willing to pay the fee to have them returned. Welcome. All right, and get a maneuver node up here and head on out to Duna. Again, we're not quite optimal, but should be able to do it. Really, we should be. Well, we're not too far off. Set Duna as our target. And we want to burn this way. So right now we're just sending a probe ship out to Duna. It's our first mission to Duna. We're just dropping off some satellites and a couple of landers. And we are a little far. I think we can make it work anyway. We've got plenty of Delta V left. Just trying to get an encounter here. We might be too early yet. Yeah, we're still kind of far. I'm getting there. We're also burning up all of our delta V to do this. That should be an encounter. Yeah, that should be an encounter. And we will have just enough delta V left over to park. And then the satellites will have to move themselves. We'll give it a shot. I'm still not entirely convinced that we're still going to have communications once we get out there. Or what we can do is wait until we're in a more optimal location, position relative to Duna. So here comes all that science we were talking about. All right, let's try that. It's kind of hard to interact with these maneuver planners at these weird angles. Yeah, I think we can get there for a lot less delta V now. Still not quite optimal, but we'll make it work. There, we had it for just a second. There. All right. Yeah, and that's 1200 delta V less. Okay. That's going to be our maneuver. Actually, that looks like we're going to impact with Duna. Maybe we'll have to correct that, but here we go. Time warp out. We'll time warp through the 280-day transit period. We should have a lot of science waiting for us after. What the heck? Apparently that decoupler was somewhere else in my staging. I don't know. Didn't we have something that started a flyby of the sun at some point? I thought we got a message, but I don't see anything out here. Okay, there we go. We have our encounter. Let me just make sure I've got everything deployed here. And here we go. There goes Kerbin. There's the moon. And we are officially outside of the Kerbin system. Okay, so we've entered orbit of the sun. Now, I'm going to grab some science. Or not. I have to get rid of my fairing first. Grab some science and send back. And there we go. I thought it looked better with the fairing on. I was trying to keep it, but I really want the science here. And let's continue our time warp to Duna. All right. So far, signal strength is pretty good. 98%, 97%. I think we'll be all right. I mean, we're almost halfway there and we're still at 92%. I think we'll be fine. Yeah. We'll definitely have contact. The only problem is if we dip behind Duna, we'll lose contact, but there's not really anything we can do about that. Can we see Duna yet? It should be... Let's point at it here. There. No, I don't see it. Somewhere in there. You see it yet? Pointing right at it. I don't see it. %78. Where is Duna? It says we're right on top of it. I don't see it. We're officially encountering it. Let's see. We've escaped the gravitational influence of the sun and started a flyby of Duna. Yep. Let's get some science. And that should give us, yep, a milestone here for scientific data from Duna. All right. Now, Duna is, of course, the game's analog of Mars. And let's capture. This is going to take a good bit of the mothership's Delta V to do this capture. Yeah, that's not what it's called. It is Ike. Ike. I'm not sure. Yeah, you were very close. Those are almost identical. We should be capturing here pretty soon, and I'll adjust the inclination as much as I can. But I'm very low on Delta V, so it won't be much. And I'm going to keep us very high here because it'll give us the best ability to interact with our satellites that we're going to drop. Okay. Yeah, something about like that. That's fairly low, though. All right, I'll work with that. And it's going to take us 88 days to get to that maneuver node. Okay. We've already time warped through 324. What's another 88? We've entered orbit of Duna. Yes, we have. Oh, well, that's why, because it's on the far side. Whatever. I already planned the node. I don't want to do it again. I'm being lazy. Ooh, I better get this done, though. We're getting far from Kerbin now. The separation between Duna and Kerbin is increasing, which is causing us to lose signal. I might be able to go back and upgrade the tracking center, which will give us a better signal. In fact, after I do this burn, let's go check that out. And how's that look? Better. Better. I'll circularize once we're over there, but let's go back to the tracking center and see if we can upgrade that. It's going to be expensive, but it'll boost our signal, which will give us more time to loiter and get our stuff deployed. As it is now, we can park it there, and even if we lose signal, we just have to wait for the orbits to come close enough again to regain that signal. We don't have enough money to upgrade that. But that would give us a huge upgrade there. Is there anything we can do to get that money right away? Science data from the surface of Duna. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get science data from the surface of Duna. You get fat stacks from the moon of Kerbin, yes. Expand the hub again? I don't know. I don't think I want to. Last time it was kind of bad. No other contracts I want to take on right now. But I didn't want to actually enter it. Yeah. No, I'm not going to expand the station again. No. I might play around with rovers more. That was kind of fun. Nope, I'm still just a little short. Okay, we'll just go back and finish this mission up, and we'll lose contact soon. But I think we can get some of these things in position before that happens. Land the ship on the station for money. Yeah. I think right now it's pretty safe just to launch these satellites and get them positioned. So let's put the satellite in. I don't have a whole lot of Delta V here. These things have quite a bit actually, so let's get them deployed. This is going to land on Ike, this one. So let's set Ike as our target. And we are very badly out of... see, which way are we moving? We're going this way, right? Yeah. Okay, something almost 3.9. 1.4, 0.7, 0.3, 0.2. That's good enough. Okay. Then that's in 57 days. So we don't, that's planned, but I don't know if we're going to be around able to do that. Now this one is actually going to go and land on Duna. So we can make sure that happens. We just need to fall. Really. And based on what I've just seen there, we can, in fact, go back to this one. And if we, no, not this one. This one? Yeah. And if we just burn retrograde now, we'll encounter Ike, which is exactly what we want to do. So there's our Ike encounter. And that happens in 24 days. If we lose contact within 24 days, I'll have to come up with some way to get some money. And yeah, I can return some of the stuff docked to the space station to get some of that money back for sure. Let's go back to the mothership though, if we can. And we can go ahead and get all of these set and moving. Okay, so these are just the satellites, so they can go either way. And I want to have all of these encounters happen at slightly different times so that I can actually deal with them. So I'll take the Ike encounter, but I'll put it over there. And then is this the one? This is the one, and this one will go to Duna. Oh, I should make sure to deploy all of these solar panels. So I don't remember exactly where the atmosphere of Duna starts, but I think it's like 30,000 or something like that. It's quite a bit lower than Kerbal. Kerbin. Let's get these solar panels out before those batteries die. Okay. All right. Now we're just waiting. Ooh, it's dropping. I don't think we're going to make it. %13. Ah, yeah, we'll be fine. 12. $11. I think, yeah, we'll be able to get these parked before we lose that. Let's grab this science real quick. There we go. That's Ike, by the way, and there's Duna. Well, this isn't actually going to orbit the Ike. This is just flying by. This is going to land on Duna. This one is going to orbit Ike. And will it be equatorial? Most likely, yes. I think I should probably switch to this one. Oh, this one's not encountering Ike? Oh, it is over there. Okay. Is this... This is a satellite. I can't remember which one's supposed to do which now. Okay, this is a satellite as well. And where is this one going? Does this one have an Ike encounter? It does. Okay, so this one is going to orbit Ike. This one is orbiting Kerbin. So the first two are not Kerbin, Duna. So the first two are going to Duna. The second two are going to Ike. Got it. So this is the Ike or the Duna orbiter. And this is the Duna lander. Now, I could change all of those names so that I can easily see and identify and know, or I could just not and then cause problems for myself. And I have no probe control. Why do I not have any probe control? Because I have no electric charge because I've gone behind the planet. Okay. That'll come back once we get around here. Yeah. Because I, like a genius, forgot to put batteries on these. Yeah, no batteries. But we'll be back in the sunlight before we have to do our deorbit burn. See, there it is. And now we have control again. Why is it behaving like that? We have... yeah. Wrong game. Okay. So we'll just get into that periapsis and we'll drop. We'll burn retrograde, throw the parachute, and that should be that. For some reason, my SAS is not working. I don't know. I don't know why. Why is the SAS not working? Control point, control from here, reaction wheels. I mean, I don't understand why it's not working. The atmosphere on Duna is much thinner. I'm a little concerned that I'm going to lose contact with the mothership. I don't know why my SAS is not working. Anybody? Yeah, the sandworms. Yeah, we've come to collect all of the spice. Why is the SAS... It was working and now it's not. Oh, now I've lost all connection. Well, that's not good. Am I going to get it back, or did I just lose my lander? I think I just lost my lander. Yeah. Pretty sure it's gone. Well, we get to see Duna. Maybe the parachute will deploy and save us. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, I think it's done. We went over the curve of the planet and we lost the... Oh, the parachute did deploy. Look at that. Hey, we might just be able to pull this off. No, I was convinced this thing was gone. We lost contact with the next satellite in the relay, and I thought that was that. We might just save this. It's going kind of quick here, but... Oof. Hey, look at that. Well, it's not the electrics. Oh. Well, it could be... Yeah, those are broken off now, so... I'll put this in hibernation. But, no. The solar panels did... Yeah, they did blow off. But the problem was I couldn't retract them or anything because we lost line of sight with that satellite there. However, that's a successful touchdown. That counts. I just won't be able to get any science from here because I don't have enough electric charge. But it is technically there. So if we ever want to look at this little Duna hill, we can come back and do that whenever we want. All right, let's get the next one in orbit here. Well, that might have actually given us the cash we need to upgrade the tracking station too. But we've still got 11% connection, so let's keep going. This is an early mission. I'm quite happy just to have it there. We'll send more missions in the future, don't worry. And eventually we'll even send Kerbals out here. Okay, so the SAS is working on this one, but it completely failed on the other one. I don't understand. Then we'll put this in a low orbit. What is a low orbit around Duna? Is it going to be about 40,000, 30,000? When did we encounter atmosphere? Was it about 30,000, wasn't it? So if I go of 50,000, we should be fine. Did I already grab all the low? Yeah, this is high above Duna. We're at 11% still, so. Yeah, we're still above the atmosphere at 50. I think this is perfectly safe. I guess the question is this a low orbit? Let's find out. Oh, we're actually in the upper atmosphere, so no, this is not good. Okay, so 50,000 is too low. Let's go to 60. Oh, wait. Let's go to 60. Yeah, we'll just do 70. That's fine. I know that's safe. Got to keep an eye on those other two satellites. They're going to interact with Ike. At some point, and I want to make sure that I've got control of them when that does happen. So are we at 55? Are we still in the atmosphere? Not enough electric charge. Yeah, I've got a lander for Ike. I've got a satellite and a lander for each. One for Ike and one for Duna. I really wish I'd put batteries on here. That would have been fantastic. Won't let me send it. Won't let me send it. Okay, this is a safe altitude. Yeah, batteries. Next time, let's do batteries. I'm always forgetting something. Always. You know, just to make sure that my time is wasted. Okay, is this the satellite or the lander? This is the satellite, okay. This does at least give us a communication relay network around Duna. So that is there for future missions, if nothing else. Okay. I will take it. I'll probably leave it just like that too. I'm totally fine with that. Is it going to let me transmit any data? No. What if I don't require complete? Does that... It's going. Okay, so that's how we'll do it. It sends packets until it's until it's complete. Well, that's pretty annoying. 58%. Oh, batteries. Batteries are very important. Done. All right. I'm not getting the rest of this. We'll switch to this one. We'll land. Do a 100% no battery run. It sounds fabulous. I'm very excited about the idea of doing that. Nope. Okay, we're down to 10%. Yep, we'll just land it immediately. We're going to drop straight down. I think that's our best bet. At this point, I don't think it pays for me to be very picky on how or where these things land. Just want to make sure it lands on the sunny side. Okay, we're going. Entered suborbital flight above Ike. Yep. Yeah, if we can land this on Ike, I'll call the mission a success. Even though I forgot batteries, and even though the one on Duna is wrecked, it's still mostly successful. Mostly. Could have been better. We'll send more missions out here in the future with better science and batteries. I promise. Next time I'll send batteries and lights. Woohoo! That's the problem. I didn't put any lights on. I'm periodically just slowing it down because I'm afraid I'm going to lose signal. I do have a satellite right there. Anyway, the thought is, the slower it's going, the less likely it is to be lost. All right, we're coming down. Yeah, we've got good connection for now. I think we'll be able to do this. Yeah, we're watching Duna set. The rim of the crater here is gonna conceal Duna from us. Is that a crater? Are we in a crater? It looks like just a ridge of some kind. Looking pretty good. I'm fairly happy with this. Look at that big old rock standing up over there. I'm just about to touch down on Ike. And we are down. All right. No, this is not the mole hole. The mole hole is on Moho. This is Ike. And there's Duna. And now I want to head back to the Space Center and upgrade that tracking station. And that should improve our communications and give us more time to interact with these things. Though without batteries, oh well, I can still get some science out of them. Oh yeah, look at that. There we go. And that's fully upgraded. And I want to go back to the one landed on Ike and get the science from that, and then we'll call it a night. And I have no idea what we're going to do next time. So if you have any ideas, let me know. Otherwise, I'll surely come up with something in the meantime. Maybe we'll just go through and clear out our contract log. Whoa, why is that landing a second time? Yeah, at least it wasn't damaged. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. It's working as intended. There we go. That's done. That's done. And now we can get the science from the ground. Yeah, batteries would have made this a lot nicer. Do we have a direct connection to Kerbin from here? We do. We do. Minmus Indentured Mining Station? Well, we don't have mining technology yet, but... Okay, let's set this back up. And there we go. All right. We're on Ike. We're on Duna. We're in orbit of both. And we do have a powerful relay ship in orbit as well. So we've got communications set up for any future missions that we do. And this will also help really just with any missions we take out beyond this point as well. It's a nice relay position. So there we go. Okay, that's it. We've accomplished the goals for the day. Completed the contract for Ripley Hub. Got all kinds of equipment to Duna. Relatively successfully. I'll come up with a game plan for next time. A solar lander? Yeah. You may pilot that yourself. So I guess that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.